We are back again. The top leagues in Europe have resumed. The Premiership, we saw the full display of teams. In Spain, we saw a team that we talked about thinking that they will be a major contender for the Spanish Premier Liga, but they lost. Welcome to the Fantastic Podcast. I am Sir Bubu. But sorry, Renz is not around. To my left, back again, ImbuedMan.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
And to my right, Lord Ralph.
Thank you very much. It's
So
good to be here
guys,
again.
how was your weekend?
Well, on the personal note of footballistically speaking, football, yeah, it was a nice weekend from a national fans perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll leave it there.
What about you?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. A good, interesting welcome to the Premier League.
Liverpool laid the marker for the season, and we saw what they can do. We saw the new signing, scoring and making an assist. And we saw the emotional part of football. We saw the way the players gave, how will I put it,
A fitting tribute.
to Jota that passed on in July, if we're correct, right? Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 2. Yes, there was a scare in the match, but the forgotten man scored that third goal. The man that, after Euro 2020, was hot cake around the world. But last season was not really his season, but he made Anslop understand something that I want to be in this team this season. Then on Saturday, we saw teams come, play with the flair that we thought they had. And what happened? Aston Villa, Newcastle. Did you watch that match?
It was a
Just
drab
highlights.
draw. Well,
Yeah.
it was an interesting game for the first half. We felt like they would score a lot of goals, but then as the game won, it became a drab game, and you just couldn't wait for it to end eventually.
Yeah, the red card gave
Newcastle.
Newcastle the excuse to
Yes,
just sit back.
Yes.
Because, you know, because that match, we thought we would have a lot of goals in the match.
It felt like at the start of the game.
Yeah, but funny enough, Newcastle were playing like the home team compared to Aston Villa, even before the red card.
And I think that's because both of them went to that game thinking we are playing for Champions League,
Yes.
right? So they did not want to lose, but they also wanted to win.
It was more of a must not
Not
lose,
lose,
game
exactly.
Okay.
than a must
So they are
win
not
game.
chasing your contender right
Direct
from the
rival
start.
right from the start.
Then the surprise of Saturday was Sunderland versus West Ham.
That was like, where did that come from?
Well, I mean, yeah, surprised because Sunderland is just coming back. But when you look
Yes.
at their summer activity,
Yeah.
not just the number of players they signed, but the quality.
Quality of
Then
players.
West Ham, on the other hand, has been going down. You know,
yes.
players not performing. Paqueta, who knows what is up to? The whole
yes.
controversy about betting or not
Betting,
betting
Yes. And already they look like a contender for relegation.
for relegation.
To be honest
exactly.
with you, so are you guys now saying that Graham Potter might just be the first manager to be fired this season?
I straight away I thought that with that result, that was
It will
exactly
be under
what came to
pressure
my mind.
very quickly.
Yes,
bottom line.
because remember they didn't have a good end to the season.
Yes, they just
the last time.
managed to
They
escape relegation.
Just about managed because there were 3 way worse teams than
Than
every
them,
other
yeah.
everybody else. So
You know, I saw the passion from the Sunderland fans in that match, and I asked myself, 9 years was too long away, and I can't wait for that derby with Newcastle.
oh, trust me,
Because
I'm
the
really looking forward to
banting is
that
going to be crazy. to be
time
honest
where
with you.
there be.
Then for Spurs, they beat Burnley, another contender for relegation. Now, if you look at the Spurs team that played and the Spurs team of last season, what's the difference in ImbuedMan?
So the difference, first of all, is for me, for my money, they have a good manager.
Okay.
Straight away, they have a tactician. I mean, respect to Ange, he won a trophy, but
When you say a good tactician, right? Was it that he didn't have the materials in Brentford and Spurs giving him the avenue?
no, even from Brentford, you could see with his tactics that this guy is a quality manager. And if he gets better players, he will do even better, which is what is happening. Yes, you don't want to get carried away. It's the first game of the season, you won 3-0. You don't want to get carried away. But remember, they played the Super Cup at the midweek. And yes, we all bantered them and they had been Spursy. They led for 85 minutes, 2-0 and lost the match and all that. But what I saw in the game was a manager that went toe-to-toe with the Champions League winner and proved he could do it. Ultimately, he was undone by PSG having better substitutes. But he proved he could go with them and match Enrique and outwit Enrique, tactics for tactics. That says something. And going into the weekend, with the way they play, and now they are being linked with Eze and Savinho. If they get those two players, I can say Spurs will be in for a top 4 shout.
Okay, let me ask you. Are you now saying that Burnley were so poor? That was why Spurs played the way they played?
Yeah, so the first game of the season, one has to be careful not to read too much into it either way.
Yes.
But I agree with him that Thomas Frank is that kind of coach that you know that when you play his team, there's no gimme. You have to fight to get anything. That's what he's trying to say.
Yes.
Angie might play good football, but more often than not, he will lose. With Thomas Frank, they always gave Arsenal or any of the big teams a good fight. So I agree with him that one thing is clear, they're not going to be close to the relegation places.
Yes.
How far they will go will be a number of things, injury, how they
Quality
gel,
of
and
players,
quality of players.
yeah.
But I
Because now
don't
they are
see them
still short.
wanting to, having doubts about his recruitment this season.
Yes.
Is it kind of manager that will do just enough
Yes.
and they will give him more money too.
Then another match that we're expecting a win, but not with the way they went about it. Wolves nil, City 4.
Well, I saw that game also, and straight away I thought to myself, could City be coming back to the big time? I think they might actually. Again, you don't want to read too much into the first game of the season, but Tijani Reinders, I remember I said it on the show some time ago that Tijani Reinders is a quality signing.
But how come other teams could not get that guy?
Well, when you say other teams could not get him, sometimes, for example, Arsenal went to the window needing about 5, 6, 7 players. You can't get every player at the same time. So while you are pushing for one, another person gets another. So, for example, we have got players like Timber that way to Jurriel Timber, and everybody's saying, wow, where did Arsenal get this guy?
Yes.
It wasn't like Chelsea and they like to not know about him. The same way Chelsea has got Hato, who is a very, very good defender. But while United is busy trying to get ImbuedMan in, so it happens.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes.
Then the guy that orchestrated the whole thing in midfield, Checky.
Checky came in as a substitute, but he still made an impact. But Tijani Reinders, watch out for that guy this season. He's going to have a hell of a season.
Well, for me, I expected them to beat Wolves, but not by that scoreline. Secondly, I look at Wolves as another team that is likely going to go down. Even if they don't go down, they're going to struggle this season. What do you think about it?
For me, before you can talk about a new season, you still have to look back at last season. Yeah. The last 4 games of the season, they kind of fell away. They were not getting results. But before then, like the 10 games before then, I think they showed enough for us to not try them off. Because as I said, it always comes down to the manager. I think that manager showed enough for us to still give him a few games before we can start saying... You can't read too much into Man City beating anybody.
Yeah, because
I think they played well. But it was just the first 2 goals were quick, bam, bam, with moments of quality, bam, bam, and that knocks the wind out of
your plan flies out of the window.
Exactly. So it became I think at that point it became more of let's try not to be embarrassed here.
Okay.
Like than let's try to get into the game. They had to oh, this is City, let's try not to get embarrassed. Yeah. Ultimately they kind of felt embarrassed. They would have felt embarrassed with 4-0. But if they had tried to say they want to go, it could have been something else. You understand? So I think they showed enough for me to think they could be in and around the 12th, 13th, 14th place. Yes, maybe not higher.
Then sometimes teams will tell you that we have 38 games.
Yes.
These are not the ones that will define our season.
Exactly.
It's not Man City that will define our season. So sometimes I have eyes already for the next fixture.
Yes.
But for me, the first 10, 15 matches will really show who and who will be contenders for the league. Who and who will be contenders for the top 5. Those that we know that will likely finish in mid-table. Then those that we know will pursue and fight relegation battles. Then the Spanish Premier League has started with Barcelona beating Mallorca away from home. The 3 Musketeers minus Lewandowski did the scoring. Those 2 red cards, what do you say about it in that match?
Well, it's easy to talk about the red cards.
Okay.
For me, talking about the red cards kind of deflects from the fact that this is a superior Barcelona side.
Yes.
However that game went, they will still have won comfortably. The only thing for me this season is will Barcelona find a balance between attacking and defending? And how good will Real Madrid be? I don't think Analytical will push them.
No.
So Valencia, Real Sociedad, battles of 2 pretenders that enjoyed the mid-table. The match ended 1-1, but you saw more of the flow of the Spanish game playing out. And those 2 teams, I look at them probably pursuing maybe the Europa League. Because the Champions League is...
They'll just be in and around...
Because Villarreal won.
Mid-table.
And they made good signings this season.
Yes.
The addition of Partey is key for them. But people just look at his end time in Arsenal. Yeah.
No, he had a
played-
good
he
season
had a
last
good
Yeah,
season.
no, I know what I
that's
mean.
not-
You know what I mean is end time.
I think it's more of the off-field issues,
Issues and
Yes.
that
all that.
were the
Yeah.
concerns. But in terms of footballing issues,
And then knowing the league as well,
knowing
too.
the
I mean,
league, yes, and
Spanish
it's
La Liga is
and
bread
let's
and
not
butter.
forget it's a slower league compared to
To
Premiership. So you expect him to even do much better.
Then on Sunday, Chelsea started the match for the day. And I told people that don't write off Crystal Palace. They have a way of milking you out for no reason. Because for the statistics that we have, they lost one match this year or two matches this year from January till they won the FA Cup. And it was a team that almost embarrassed Arsenal at the Emirates before they did that killer punch to City in the FA Cup final. That goal, Community Shield, the penalty win against Liverpool, that goal against Chelsea, I want both of you's opinion, was it a goal?
Well, for me, it's one of those things that you've come to expect in a new season where sometimes some unnecessary rules just come into play. When I saw that goal disallowed, what I tweeted was, if he ain't broken, don't fix it. One of those things that nobody's complaining about that little kind of shove, and then you're introducing it. So for me, normally that should be a goal.
Yeah.
Normally.
What about you?
I agree.
And nobody will complain.
And for Palace, they have a bloody good manager.
Last now.
That guy has proven himself. In Frankfurt, he won the Europa League. He came here. He also won 2 trophies. For Palace that had never won a trophy before, you have to give him his respect. He's a manager that knows how to organize his team very well. He sets his team on in such a way that they are very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And then they have on top of that players, Eze. They will hope for their sake that Eze doesn't move. He's been linked with
Same with the defender.
Gueye as well, yes. But they will hope Eze for their sake stays with Mateta up front with Sarr. They have enough quality up front to hurt any team. And with that level of organization, they're a good team. They're a team that they will be in, if they play to as well as I think they can, they will be in and around the European places. If they will get it, I don't know. But they will be in and around that position.
So what about Chelsea? What did you see in that Chelsea team yesterday?
Again, Chelsea, familiar story. When they were going to play PSG and everybody were kind of writing them off, the team is an enigma. You've seen it so many times when Di Matteo came, when Tuchel came. Yes. No matter the kind of season they are having, somebody comes in mid-season, somehow they win the league. Arsenal has played better than that's Chelsea for you. But underneath it is the fact that over 38 games, Chelsea is they will still struggle because of the lack of identity, changing players, the turnover is just too much.
Yes.
It's just too much. So bottom line for me, Chelsea 10 games, 15 games before we know where they will be.
Okay. Then can we say on the show that Brentford will likely go down this season?
They are one of the teams that
with the kind of manpower they've lost.
Yes, the manpower they've lost. And I don't know anything about this new manager, but let me give him 10, 15 games in and see what he's about. Are you sure he will still
be there after 10, 15 games?
Well, we would have to find out.
Then the last match on Super Sunday was United and Arsenal. This was the first time I saw Arsenal played very disjointed. Let me use that word. Yes. Then the goalkeeper winning the man of the match, to me, I wasn't impressed with it. How can an elite team
have your goalkeeper as
man of the match making 7 saves?
The most of the weekend.
It shouldn't happen like that. So I'm asking, what is the issue with that man?
So
United played better than them anytime, anything, that particular fixture.
No doubt, 100%. So I saw the game and I was like, I'm just going to say, I hope we don't play worse than this the rest of the season. And I hope, this is the worst we get to play this season because it was a really poor game from Arsenal. But they said sometimes the big teams, the teams that go on to win the title, they will be being ugly. But it was such a dry performance. We couldn't really string passes together. I'm like, what's going on here? This team is supposed to play much better than this. But let's say it's preseason, early games and whatever. Hopefully next week they wake up and they play much better than.
ImbuedMan, your honest analysis of both teams.
Yeah, for me, I'm not really concerned. Why? If what is your strength normally fails you, then you don't have to be too concerned. Arsenal normally good in possession, very hard to break down and all that. We didn't see all that yesterday. So I'm not really concerned. What will concern me is if we are still not able to break teams with low block. And that was not the
Yes.
case with United. So bottom line, I can't read too much into yesterday's game. I'm happy. 3 points, Old Trafford, anytime, no matter the Man U team you are facing,
Yes.
first game of the season, you can't ask for too much.
Yes, and-
Saka did not play well. So many players did not play well. So you should not really be scratching your head as to why we were all over the place.
Yes. Speaking about Liverpool, I didn't touch on Liverpool before. I saw Liverpool's game on Friday, and yes, their first 11 will win. Will probably win more games than not, but they don't have a quality bench, and they still need an attacking signing. Yes, they are linked with Isak, even though we don't know if they will be able to do get that deal. But I still think even with an Isak, they still need an attacking signing, because looking at their bench, they didn't really have quality attack. Remember, they lost
two major players,
they lost
Luis
Jota,
and Jota,
sadly to death and all. Then you had Nunez and you lost Diaz.
Nunez, they allowed him
go.
It wasn't really doing well.
Yes,
but two players that normally they didn't want to
leave. Do you understand? So, and they've not replaced that. Okay, Kitike comes in, but that's just about it. They still need.
Yeah, because he came in and there are some matches, some stadiums they go to, and you just need someone to do that moment of magic. Do we know if he can do it? That's another thing. Then for the fans out there, Atletico Madrid lost their first match of the season for no reason to an Espanyol that kind of escaped relegation last season. Simeone, the knives are out. Do the right thing, or else you end up like Arsene. Because when you stay too long somewhere, it becomes a problem. You have that entitlement mentality that I built this club to that level. We're going on a break. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. In Spain, the big shark are yet to play. Real Madrid. They start their La Liga journey against Osasuna on Tuesday. Now, Madrid has a new coach. They have a new identity and a new direction. Alonso, I would say, is the chosen one because they waited for him to come. Now, both of you, what should we expect from him this season?
For me, when you are competing against a very strong team like Barcelona, Madrid doesn't think this way, I know. The way I would judge him in the league is to say, are you competitive until the very last day? In other words, if Barcelona then wins, but they are competitive until the next day, until the last day, Alonso would have bought himself time to continue into the next season where he can, imbue more of his own identity, bring in more players. Because in terms of bringing players in, they did just a few this summer, hoping that people like Vinicius will come back to the form of the season before the last. Bellingham did not have a particularly good season as well. So for me, those are the things they need to judge this season. If they finish well, then they can bring in more players.
Well, mainly the same thing. Watching him at the Club World Cup, maybe it's a short time and they've played a long season, so you can't really assess him by that. So we assess him from the start of the season, about 5-10 games into the season. When we watch him, we see we know his body of work speaks for him, at least from coming from Leverkusen. But again, this is Real Madrid. The stakes are much higher. And you can get fired after 1 month.
Real Madrid, as I said earlier, they are the shark of Spanish football. Barcelona are the whales. So you should understand the comparison.
And I think they were really humiliated in a way as now.
That Champions League quarterfinal really hits them to their
they would also judge him with how they do in the Champions League as well.
Obviously, it's Madrid.
So the Premiership resumes on Friday, where we have a London derby, West Ham versus Chelsea. Then the Bundesliga starts on Friday night, with Bayern Munich versus Leipzig. Let's talk about those two games briefly.
Bayern Munich, for me, company. He came at the time. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I don't think he has proved himself yet. Number one, they didn't do well so well in Champions League. German League, Bundesliga doesn't test them that well, except you come in at the time where you have a vintage Dortmund or Leverkusen.
Yes.
But last season, both of the teams, of course, Leverkusen did not do as well as they did the season before. Dortmund this season, they do well. The next season, their players are sold.
Yes.
So we would know more about Bayern Munich under company this season and then in the Champions League as well.
Yes. But I expect them to win the game. Having said that, I expect them to win the game. For West Ham against Chelsea, I think having drawn their first game, Chelsea will really, really want to go all out to try and get their first win of the season.
What about West Ham? West Ham,
yes,
they were humiliated.
Yes,
at Stadium of Light.
Yes, West Ham is a team that this season we've already talked about them being a team that could potentially.
But you know, if there's anything I've noticed in the Premiership, West Ham have their ways against Chelsea.
London derby.
Yes,
it's just the London derby thing, but right now they don't have a quality team. Maybe they might come back to bite me with what I'm saying. Like their pride might show. Maybe playing at home in front of their fans, they would want to show something back. But by and large, I expect the Chelsea.
What about in France? Because PSG is playing Angers on Friday night. Are you saying Marseille will not give them a run for their money or Monaco this season?
They will try their best, but I just think PSG has too much quality and too much money to spend. Remember, they bought the Donnarumma situation. Donnarumma did so well for them. They are saying let him go. They bought a rival goalkeeper.
And then it doesn't help as well when you are chasing perennial winners. Every psychological edge counts.
Yes.
So Marcel has dropped points in the first game of the season. Then there's already dressing room problems. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, about
Kone and this other player.
No, they were even Kone.
No. They were even almost fighting in the dressing room to the extent that both of them have been suspended for now. So that's not the way you really want to start.
You know,
that's not even the way you want to start
against. You know, and then when you have a bad result like that, you start to doubt yourself. Like there's no point. There's a way you can even lose the league psychologically from the first game of the
Yes.
Then on Saturday, the lunchtime kickoff, Thomas Frank will be tested.
They call it top of the table clash.
For early days, top of the table class. Man City Spurs.
That would be a very interesting game. And remember that Man City don't have a particularly good record at home against Spurs. Yes, I think they won the last year's one or something. But before that, there was a time that they had not even scored against Spurs on their own ground. Yeah. It was that bad. So, and this Spurs team is looking like a team that they know what they are doing. They know how to play and all that. And they have a tactician. I keep saying it. Before they had I'm sorry, with due respect to him, they had a football hipster that just did whatever it is. But he won a trophy, and you can't begrudge him that. But in terms of tactics, no. But I rate Thomas Frank highly. He has someone that will organize the team very well. So I expect them to actually give City a tough test. And
ImbuedMan, are you saying that City should get ready for a low block that day?
You mean against Spurs?
Yes, because I'm sensing it.
Not necessarily. It will depend on the dynamics of the game. Why? Because Man City has a lot to worry about in terms of Spurs attacking players that are better than what they've had recently. Yes, they've lost Son, which is major. But Kudus is not somebody that you want to take lightly, given the form is showed over the weekend. And Richarlison, or is it Richarlison? Is one of those players too that on his day, it could be very, very good. So bottom line, I think Pep would also respect them. Pep is still scared of what happened last season. So he would not be as confident as he used to be. In other words, they will try to defend well too. And City has not been defending as well as they used to do in 2-3 seasons ago. So I think the first 10 minutes of that game will be key. Bottom line, the first 10 minutes of that game. If Pep doesn't score in the first 10 minutes, then they will be caught in two minds. Should we keep going forward? Or should we just keep the game that way and see how,
Then Bournemouth versus Wolves. Two teams that lost their first match. Something tells me this match they will go all out against each other.
Yeah, they want to get 3 points on the board.
Yes. Anything could happen.
Then Brentford Villa.
Brentford is one of those teams we're looking at for relegation. So we don't know what they will do. They will be at home this time around.
Yeah, Brentford will be at home. But Villa might just want to take out their frustration and disappointment from the Newcastle match.
Frustration apart, you don't even want to go into two games down. You don't really have points on board. For Villa now and their aspirations, having 2 points will be disastrous. Never mind if they lose. So anything short of 3 points this week
Then Burnley Sunderland. Are we going to say another Sunderland magic? Because it's more like the match they played last season in the Championship.
Again, anything can go from that match. Like we said before, we don't want to read too much into the first game of the season. And this time, Sunderland are away. So I expect maybe Burnley to play much better to show their fans that we want to stay in the Premier League. So I expect them to put in a better performance.
Then,
a win for
then the last match on Saturday in the English Premiership is Arsenal Leeds.
Yeah, so we talked about Arsenal playing poorly. Now playing in front of their fans, they would definitely want to show that okay, we are ready for the season where everybody's saying you bought that striker. Now go on and win the league. Show us that you can win the league. So I expect to see a better performance and maybe hopefully a win as well.
ImbuedMan, what do you say about that match?
I mean, I'll go with what he said. For Arsenal, you can never take anything for granted in football,
Yes.
but 3 points is expected.
Yeah.
What Arteta will be
3
looking
point with a
for,
couple of goals.
what Arteta will be looking for is for them to find their confidence again, to understand one another. For
Yes.
players like Gyökeres to be able to integrate into the team, maybe a goalie and there. But even if he doesn't score, but at least to improve his overall performance. Let's not forget that Saka did not play well as well. You would want to see someone like maybe Waneri, someone like what's this winger's name?
Madueke.
So more than anything else, what Arsenal needs in that game is to have those
A
players
good performance,
express themselves
a couple
well
of goals, and
and
then
cohesion.
everybody's like, okay, fine, we are ready
to build
start this
confidence now and say, okay, now the season has started.
Yes.
Then in Spain, Atletico Madrid will now be at home in their stadium, Wada Metropolitana, or whatever they call the name. They're playing Elche. Are you saying they will win this match? Because the last match they led before they lost.
If they don't win this match, then
All of a sudden, their coach is under pressure.
yes.
So
This Barcelona team, you cannot afford to be chasing them.
Chasing
You
them,
understand?
yes.
so everybody here is saying Atletico win.
I expect
They're
them
stronger
to,
too.
but
They're stronger too.
you never know with Atletico.
Then Barca is playing their second consecutive match away from home. They're playing Levante. Are you now saying Barca will win that match?
I expect them to.
You know, the funny thing is that when it comes to Barcelona, it's almost like they're more likely to win away than at
Win
home.
at home.
Because they're so fluid. And when they
Yes.
play away, the onus is still on the home team to
To
an extent
attack.
to try to attack. I saw a number of games last season that were tricky at their home
No
stadium.
No camp.
No, where they're using
Olympic
now.
Olympic Stadium.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
camp
yeah.
is still under
Under
renovation.
sure.
But away, it was always fluid. So, if anything, you expect this week to be even better than this past weekend.
Yes.
Do you think AS Roma can win the Serie A this season, or they can finish in the top 4?
Top 4,
With
yes.
that coach, yes.
With that coach, top 4, yes. But I don't know about the title because I don't know how much quality players
They would have to be better than Inter Milan. They would have to be better than Napoli.
Yes, I'm talking about AC Milan again. I just remember that we actually have Allegri as their manager.
He's
now.
back.
So he's
And
back
he has won the
again.
league with both Milan and
And
Juventus.
so
It's
Yeah,
more
but
of
his
a
stock has
it's
kind
more-
of reduced a bit in
and
the
it's
past.
more of a
Yes.
redemption person. And during pre-season, Milan were awesome. Then for the Premiership on Sunday, Crystal Palace will play Nottingham Forest. I can't wait for that match.
I'll be a cracker. I'll be a cracker because Forest started well.
Number
3-1,
one, number two,
3-1
their
defeat.
recruitment has been terrific. They're still
Yes.
trying to get this guy in, Luis, who hasn't done well in
He's,
Juventus, but we all know what he did at
Juventus,
Aston Villa.
yes.
They brought in
Yes.
Omariochi in,
Yes.
McCarthy from Man City. There's
Yes.
another player that skipped my mind.
They've got
Another
some,
good
and
midfielder.
they managed to retain.
It was only a Langer that left.
Yes, they
to
managed to
Newcastle.
retain Morgan Gibbs-White after
Gibbs
that
White,
drama.
fantastic. So you know why I think they're going to have
And
a
then
very good
Chris Wood
season.
looks like
He's back.
He's scoring.
It's
again.
continuing.
He's
He's back again. When you say
Yes,
back,
but
it
he's
sounds
back
like maybe
again.
he
Yes.
went off, you know.
Because everybody
off
was
the
felt
boil.
like the 3 years, 20 goals, and it's just one season. But it's showing
Two
that
good goals
I
yesterday.
can do
Two
it
good
again.
goals. Then another thing I want to say is this. I tweeted just earlier today that it appears that Nuno, his objective is to still make Champions League low key.
Yes.
I know there's this saying that if you aim for you fall amongst the stars.
Yes.
So for that reason, they're going to have a very good season. They were really awed by the fact that towards the end of the season, just
They
two
lost-
games to
they
go.
lost it on
Exactly.
two matches to go.
So I see them finishing in the top 7, which will still be very fantastic anyhow you look at it.
Then another cracker for that Sunday is Fulham Manchester United. Because Fulham is an exciting team. Saw what they did to Brighton, even if Brighton scored first, the way they came back. So I always say Amorim's rebuilding might have like a pause on that day.
I was chatting with, I was chatting with my friend who is a Man U fan earlier today, and he was so bitter about the loss and everything. And I told him, okay, fine, you played well, but let's see what you do next week. Do the same thing, and then this time around, win against Fulham, and then we can see.
That Fulham match is going to be really tough, but I wish them all the best. For me, I look at both teams scoring.
Yes.
Then Everton, Brighton, the normal David Moyes thing and all. Let's see. They were playing in their new stadium, so
First time.
yes, let's see
And
what more.
let's see what Grealish will do
Yeah.
if he's actually going to redeem himself.
Yeah.
Then for Spain, Sociedad will play Espanyol. I don't know the mood Sociedad will be in. compared to their last match with Valencia.
What I would say is if you saw a lot of Sociedad's matches last season, that's a very good team.
Yes.
But I think their
Loss
campaign,
of,
the Europa League
Superman.
campaign, they went to the latter
Yes,
stages.
yes.
I think it was
They
United
lost to
that
United in
eventually
semi-finals.
beat them.
Yeah,
I think that took
semi-finals.
No, quarterfinals.
Semi.
It was Bilbao United beat in the semi-final.
They met Leon at some point. When
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Man
yeah,
U
yeah.
meet Leon? At what stage?
Quarterfinals.
That was second.
Quarterfinals.
Is it second round? It's
Quarterfinals.
quarterfinals. Okay. Okay.
So I think Sociedad is actually a very good team. I think they will finish in the top 8 this season.
Okay. What about Madrid are going to be playing on Sunday? They're playing Real Oviedo. That's Santi Cazorla's team. Isn't not too much for Oviedo at this time of the season?
Let's see Madrid first tomorrow night. Before we can say too much, isn't it? They have one match.
But
before
I
weekend
think they
match.
will still have enough quality to defeat Oviedo.
Okay.
But it's a good way for Oviedo to test themselves in the league against the big boys, the biggest boys.
Then in Serie A, Lazio start their campaign away to Como against Cesc Club. Then Atlanta will play Pizza. Not pizza we eat. Then Juventus will play Parma, which used to be a very key fixture in the 90s.
90s, yes.
Days of Veron,
Veron,
even the Simeone guy. Buffon and all.
and this Chilean player.
Zamorano.
Zamorano, the other one. I've forgotten him. Salas.
Salas, yes.
You know.
Who is the coach of Juventus now? Is it who is
No,
it?
they sacked the what was that? I can't remember his name.
It's not
Mota.
Tudor. I think it's got Tudor.
No, it was Mota.
They sacked
Mota.
Mota. They brought
Thiago
in
Motta.
Tudor. I think Tudor is still the one in charge.
Okay. So, where do you see Juventus finishing this season?
Well, for me, I'll still say maybe top 4. They will have to aim for top 4. I still think Inter are a cut above the other teams. Inter and Napoli, again, they won the league, and then, of course, the Conte factor. So, whoever, like you said before, whoever is going to win the league will have to go to finish above those two teams.
Then there's one thing that's generally affecting the Italian league. They cannot compete anymore in terms of finances.
Finances,
So usually when
yes.
Man U, Arsenal, and even the likes of Newcastle,
Even
the
the
6th and 7th teams in England,
Palace,
when
yes,
they finish
even
buying
the
players,
Palace and
then
Nottingham
Milan
and all
are
that.
having to
Scrap for
exactly for
the others.
Then for
So-
a quick one, next week Monday fixtures, there's a tough match in Newcastle. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Then Inter, then Inter will play Torino. Those are the two top
that would be
fixtures
tasty.
next
As
week
far
Monday.
back
That
as
will be very
2 weeks
tasty.
ago, I remember saying that Liverpool, Newcastle this season will be blood and thunder. All the matches. If you see what has happened in the transfer window,
Yes.
it's been crazy. And look at what is happening with Isak and however it ends,
yes.
whether it stays or it
It
goes.
goes.
That is one to
And
watch out
even
for.
the Newcastle player alluded much to that. Anthony Gordon, they asked him after the match. He said they are looking for.
Because
Whether it stays or
because the funny thing is, Isak didn't play over the weekend, and Newcastle were still very dangerous.
Of
Yes.
course.
So imagine him in that same squad, and now with the anger of the coach and everybody, they're playing Newcastle at St. James Park of all
All
stadiums.
stadiums.
Very difficult. Very
The game
difficult,
is
normally.
going to be a cracker. Like I'm interested in the build up towards the game.
Then Inter Milan versus Torino, they start the Serie A upper Monday.
Yes, I expect Inter to win.
Just because until you see teams, you really cannot
You
rate
really
them too
can-
much. You
too
can only
much.
use
The
reputation
what
from last season and the fact that they're playing at
So
home.
this season is going to be very, very tough, and a lot of managers, their careers will be on the line. Let me start with Arteta first. This is a win or bust season for him. He knows it very well.
Yeah,
He has to win at least a trophy, but not Carabao Cup or FA Cup.
I don't agree with that, really. I don't agree with that.
Why do you say so?
The reason is this. The way we fans they see football is different, right? The management never forgets where you're coming from. And they don't take for granted the fact that you can sack a manager and all of a sudden that top 4 that you're starting to take for granted is
don't
not assured
even
anymore.
get it.
Coupled with the fact that all the teams around you are spending a lot of money now. There are 6-7 teams that can claim, even Nottingham Forest. So the way we fans, we do it with emotions. Like, if you don't give us a trophy, the club does not look at it that way. I certainly do not look at it that way. Because when you've come second, right, there's a tendency to say, okay, we want to win.
So we have come to the end of the show before you will beat me. This episode has been, I don't know what to say, but I hope I have them back by next week so we can continue from where we stopped. Please, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and TikTok. So, Lord Ralph, what do you have for the fans before we go?
It's a pleasure to be here once again, and it's been a great time talking. And so, like you said, please, viewers at home, make sure you watch, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and do all of those things. Thank you very much. Peace.
ImbuedMan, what do you have to say?
Exciting season ahead. Just enjoy the ride.
But as for me and Renz, that is on sabbatical, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.